There we go. We're now recording. Welcome to the weekly Inside Real Estate Success Strategy session. These are all recorded. If you're watching live, we will get you the replay into the Facebook group at insiderealestate.com/Facebook group and also on our YouTube channel. If you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and thumbs us up, smash the like button, hit the subscribe, all the things the kids do these days. Tick the bell so you're notified about new videos. I'm getting on board with this YouTube stuff here still. Hey, Alex, how you doing? We have a guest today, Alex Huffman. How you doing, Alex?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
Great. Thank you for coming on today. Everybody, I wanted Alex to come on. I'd like to kind of get a guest here on these sessions every once in a while. And Alex, I know you've been using KV Core for a while now. Do you want to tell us a little bit about, where your brokerage is, where you're from, and your experience with KV Core?
Yeah, so I'm brokered with eXp Realty. I'm out of Minnesota. I work primarily in the Twin Cities up here or I guess I should be a little more specific, St. Paul, Minneapolis, and the surrounding suburbs. And then I really, being with eXp, we automatically have a subscription to KV Core. So I was kind of involved in it. And then in November of 18, I decided I wanted to be focused on being a real estate agent 100%. And I thought to myself, how can I find clients? So that's when I first signed up with KV Core for lead generation. I had tried some Facebook ads on my own and got about zero interest and realized I should stick to what I'm good at, and it's not Facebook marketing.
Gotcha. So you are using our Facebook ads? Is that?
I am, and the one I signed up for is different than what you guys have now, because like all good companies are doing, you're always adding and improving things. So I think what I'm in now is the Facebook retargeting. And I'm also signed up with the concierge service, which I've had great success with. I know it's new, and I've talked to a lot of people about it, and I really like it. I still try and contact them myself, but it's pretty awesome when you get an email, hey, we just qualified a lead for you. Give them a call or text them or however they prefer to be contacted. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of that, and honestly, it's most of my business. And I get, like every good agent, I get a few friends and family members, and I have a couple lenders that'll send me a deal here and there, but most of what I work is all leads generated by KV Core.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I wanted to have you on. So you started fresh in the business in 2018?
Yes. I got my license in January of 18 and then decided to do nothing but real estate in November of 18.
So you knew nothing else about kind of how to grow a business other than kind of the modern world with all the lead generation options we have now. It's mostly been online, it sounds like.
Yep, it's been almost 100% online.
Gotcha. So can we talk about some numbers? I saw you posting at somewhere, or I saw a webinar you were on. That's one of the reasons I asked you to be on. Do you have your numbers as far as how many leads you generated maybe in that first year? I know that you actually did some pretty good GCI for a rookie or for a second year, the numbers that I've heard. You want to talk a little about those?
I can tell you, I have no idea how many leads. It's too many to keep track of, which is a great problem to have. And another great reason for that concierge service. But I did roughly 4 million from KV Core leads in 2019. And I pay, is it okay to share what I pay for?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I pay $500 a month to KV Core for advertising. So if you take $6,000 a year for advertising and you generate, $4 million worth of business, I think anybody would take that.
Yeah. So the GCI on that's close to, I think I heard you say 90 to 100,000.
Yeah, I think it was 95 from that, I think.
Right. So that's a really good ROI. The lead count, I'm assuming you probably get, knowing the products, do you have double? So it's 500. So you probably have 2 of the 250 subscriptions. So you're probably getting you're probably getting 50 to 100 leads a month.
It's funny. I looked at all my numbers from January on.
Yep.
And January of 2020. And between January and February, I was getting like 22 to 30, like low 30s. And then coronavirus came along and my leads have probably tripled. I know April, I had, I think 77 leads.
Yeah.
That's a lot of leads. That's a lot of phone calls.
Yeah. People have been at home. So
yeah.
we've seen this too, and it's a good opportunity right now. I know a lot of people slowed down their ad spend, but we saw this early on. We were doing our virtual training summit. I think I did some sessions and mentioned this, that we actually saw an uptick, and it was the perfect time to kind of not only get on board with some of this new technology if you weren't familiar with it, doing video and stuff, but also to actually scale up your leads. And as everybody can hear from Alex's story, you probably that first year, I imagine you were generating leads. You probably had a few hundred before you even had a closing. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so my first closing was in March of 19 from a KV Core lead. So I spent the money in November, started December 1st getting leads, and one of those leads from that December closed in March. And I remember it well because it was my first one and I was excited. It was a $350,000 house. New construction on a lake. It was gorgeous. And then I actually still am working with one of those clients, and I remember it specifically because we were in line to see, I have 3 little kids, so we were in line to see Santa that December. So December of 18, when she became a lead, and I started texting her, and I've gotten to know them really well. They have a $500,000 house they're going to sell when they find the perfect house, which is up to $1 million. And I was just talking with her this morning, actually. So part of my story too is a big strategy is you can get all the leads you want, but if you don't follow up and stay in contact, it's worthless. So I've literally talked to this lady since December of 2018. That's a lot of time. Most people don't do that. I highly encourage you to stick with your leads and stay in contact. We all know we're supposed to do it, but most of us don't.
Yeah, so let's drill down in that. So that's one of the big reasons I want to have you on, because I could imagine not only did you kind of have the faith as a new agent, you didn't have a closing for 3 or 4 months, so you went out of pocket, probably a couple $1,000s before you saw a result. So you're thinking right there, you're thinking like an entrepreneur, like a business owner, and you're willing to do that. But in order to make sure those close, you had to have a little patience. And I'm going to let you talk now, and just what specifically do? You just mentioned you're now using our concierge service, but what were you doing then to follow up?
So I live in KV Core. I spend most of my day. I actually use the CRM. I try and use all of KV Core. I use it as a CRM. I schedule whether I want to call or text. I use the call feature, and I say, call or text or whatever I want to do that day, even if it's email them, because I have one lady who she's blocked both my real phone number and my smart number on KV Core, but she responds to my emails still, and she still looks at her search like once a week. So whatever it is, I still schedule calls with her, even though I know my number's blocked, and I'll say, email her 3 new houses or whatever it is for that day, and I schedule it. I try and follow up on it. Sometimes I miss calls because I will, as soon as we get off this call, and I'm supposed to make my calls, but if somebody calls me and they want to see a house, I'm going to go show them the house. So part of it is being flexibility and flexible. Part of it is trying my best to follow my KV Core. If you want to pull it up, that dashboard is where I live. If you click calls, that's where I spend most of my day, because it tells me, I have 32 past calls, so I had a bad day yesterday. I better call some people.
This is mine, not Alex's, by the way, so I'm the one who slept. Yeah.
So I live in there. It's helpful. And then I love some of the marketing autopilot and lead engine tools. I use them pretty often. I just got yesterday the bomb feature, so I'm excited to get into that. I've made one test video and it was literally 6 seconds long, but it's cool. And I'm really excited to sit down and spend a couple hours, and I'll probably make a video I can share with you and people can watch on how I'm doing it.
Yeah, that would be great if you want to record that. And also, I don't know if you saw it, but everybody watching, I posted a little contest in the Facebook group, and some people have already replied. It should be the pinned post, and you can kind of see what other people are doing with that feature here. And it's been really cool so far to see just the power of saying a quick thank you to a new lead. And that's mostly what people are doing here. Even me, I'm not the lead, but as I watch these videos, I'm like, I can feel myself feeling rapport toward the people doing the video. Like, like I think it was Jyoti here, or if you look at Jordan's video, it's a really good one. It was like, oh, I would work with her, right? She's my agent now. So yeah, very cool that you're checking that out.
Yeah, and I would say part of my success too is KV Core in their marketing autopilot. I love your campaigns, but what I've done on top of your campaigns that are pre-built in there, I think there's 23 in the library or something like that. I took the buyer and seller ones and then I tweaked them a little. There was some things in there. There was one that I still don't really like, but it gets so many responses. It's still in there because
What is it?
It works. It makes me feel a little corny, but it doesn't matter because it works. So I go on there and I like, for example, I changed it so that when somebody becomes a lead, I have it so it immediately adds them as a hashtag weekly, so I can send them my weekly update or newsletter, or I'm trying to do what we're supposed to do and make a weekly video, so I can send it to them. I have it automatically immediately text them. I think it just says like, hey, I see you were just on my site. Do you have any questions, or did any house catch your eye? That gets a decent amount of response. A lot of the times it's no, but what does that tell me right away? It tells me I have their cell phone number and it works.
Do you mind if I pull up your dashboard, or is there stuff in there you don't want public? Should I keep it off?
I'll
keep it off. I'll keep it off. But
I have a lot of past calls right now.
Gotcha. So basically what I wanted to show is what you were talking about, is that you took some of the system campaigns that are up here, and you kind of edited them to fit your taste, basically,
yes,
or made them sound more like you.
Exactly. That's 100% what I did. And now once I get this video thing down, I have a rough idea. I haven't gotten it to yet too much, but what I plan on doing is recording, like, I'm just going to call it video 1, video 2, video 3, whatever. It'll be like, hey, it'll be an email. Hey, I really appreciate you were just on my site. I'm Alex. I'd love to help you out. Feel free to call or text me with any questions. I'll throw my number in right where it says click here. I'll throw my cell phone number, call or text me anytime.
Yep.
And I'll put that into my smart campaigns once I drill it down. Hopefully get it done this weekend.
Yeah, I did a post this week in the Facebook group. I'll drop it to everybody. I wanted to also, just like you did, I'm just sort of kicking the tires with the core video. And you're somebody who's already consistently following up. This is just going to make your follow-up that much more powerful, because people are going to see your face and hear your voice. But what I came up with here was these 5, an immediate one, a second day, asking people if they need financing and linking to my lender, showing them something cool they can do on the site, and then asking if they have a house to sell, offering evaluation, and then kind of the like, hey, kind of just asking them to unsubscribe if they don't want to hear from me 15 days in. So just for you, Alex, if you want to take a look at that, and I'm sure, you have more ideas. I'd love to hear.
That's where actually I got my idea.
Okay.
From your post.
Okay.
I was told early in my real estate career that R&D in real estate is rip off and duplicate. So,
yep.
So feel free, if you see any of my ideas, to do the exact same.
Yeah,
if it works for me, it might work for you.
And it's not ripping off; it's modeling.
Yeah.
You're still doing work, and that's what's nice about this business. We're all not really competing with each other. We're gonna have some agents in our same market, but I'm in Florida, you're in Minnesota, you do something in Minnesota. There's no harm in me doing almost the same exact thing. We're all unique.
Yeah. I even help local agents, other agents with my brokerage. I love to help them figure this out, and it doesn't bother me. It's not like, there's plenty of fish in the sea. They are not stealing my clients or vice versa.
And there's a mastermind effect too when we share ideas. I post a lot of the stuff I do, and usually you see somebody else model it or do something, but people come up with a new spin on it, and it benefits everybody. It benefits me to see what other people are doing, and vice versa.
Yeah, and I've honestly, most of the agents I help learn this stuff have been agents for 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, one of them I've become friends with, and he's listed 700 homes, Well, now he's trying to help, because of what I gave him, he's trying to help me be a better agent as well. So
that's a good takeaway and a tip, right? So if you are more tech savvy, a little bit younger or with the times, but you're a little new, to the business, definitely, partner up with somebody who can give you the what is it, like the old dog tactics when it comes to going on a listing appointment, for example, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah. Or I had a listing that it was kind of, 45 minutes out of the Twin Cities. It was on a big lake, but only 2 houses on this lake had sold in the last year. None of them were similar whatsoever to this house. He helped me figure out some pretty good price point on it. And it's pending now, and we got pretty close to what we thought we would get. And so my clients are happy. I'm happy because he helped me out, and he's happy because I've helped him out. Everybody can win.
Yep. So there's a few questions. Arvin's asking, can you go to my Facebook to see examples of posts? Just go to the Facebook group. It's at insiderealestate.com/Facebook group when I'm mentioning kind of these examples. So you're generating lots of leads. You're just kind of pushing a button inside of the KV Core marketplace. People have asked where that is. It's right here. You're using our Facebook, and then you're getting leads coming into KV Core. And then from there, you're letting the system do the follow-up for you. And
it's mostly automated and concierge service. I think I'm saying that wrong. I use those 2 services. And I mean, can I share a really exciting story? I shared it inside my internal page, within my brokerage. But for all your listeners out there, I have my first. When did that concierge service start? Like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, maybe a month. Yep.
Yeah. So I've been signed up since I think probably 2 or 3 days since they launched it. And there's a great video in the support portal. It's in the support portal about it. I think it's an hour long. But if you're curious, watch that video. But one of these leads, and I have 2 right. Oh, I have so 2 of them went under contract last week. One was my first concierge service, and he went under contract originally at $375, but that got canceled. And Monday we signed a new purchase agreement with the new construction for $418. And then before I had this service, one of my other leads, we signed a $955,000 purchase.
Nice.
So, and if you do the math, my $418 pays for this service for 13 and a half months.
Yeah. So you were already in the flow of calling every lead back. You were sending smart campaigns, texting. What for these 2 that you closed? Kind of talk about how it worked. The lead came in off Facebook from the service.
Yep. So the 418 one, he came off from. So he signs up on the site. Probably doesn't even know he gave me his information.
Right.
The service contacts him. They texted with him, and then they send me an email and a text, which saves their phone number. So if they call you, you don't ignore the call like I did the first time.
Yeah.
They say, hey, his name's Ferris. Ferris is a qualified lead. Congratulations. Here's his info. Here's our conversation. And you can go to the Versa website and see the entire conversation. They had only texted with him. So whatever medium they connect with him is the same one I use to follow up.
Right.
I just followed up. Hey, I saw my team was chatting with you. Looks kind of like you were looking for this. I just wanted to confirm it. He says, yeah, set up, go meet at the first showing. House was already sold, but he wanted to see it. And so we set up a time to see it. And then I told him, sorry, this one's sold here. And, that's a great way to meet them in person. Once you've shown them houses, unless you aren't doing your job or they aren't qualified for whatever, like financially or whatever, they should be buying a house with you. And I focus mostly on buying because I actually enjoy that more.
So buyer agency. So he came in, the service texted back and forth, and then they handed him off to you. One thing that just occurred to me that I hadn't seen before was that must position you as it seems like you had an assistant working for you.
Yeah. It makes you look like a big shot. Hey, I saw my team. I don't have a team. I'm a single agent. I like it like that, and it's always going to be that way. But, it's like Gary Keller says in his book, he started answering at that one office, Keller Williams International Headquarters. Well, nobody knew it was his only office, and it was his international headquarters. So part of it is a mind game, be confident, come off as an expert.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's really, right. So for $350 a month, you appear to have an assistant, and the second that guy talks to you, you had one that was in the 900,000 range. And I know for a lot of new agents, even me now, been around the business a long time, I'm a little at the higher end, I don't feel as confident maybe for whatever reason. But you instantly to that buyer or to that person seem a little more legit because there was an assistant between you and them.
Yeah, and people of that, you have money and power if you're buying a house in that price range in most places, maybe not in LA, but Minnesota, the average sales price is somewhere in that 250 to 300 range. And so, they're used to a certain level of dealing with people in the same position as them.
That's a good way to put it. You feel like a peer right away.
Yes.
You had that interaction with an assistant.
Even though I am certainly not.
Not there yet, right?
Maybe someday. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you're on your way. So you're basically playing a numbers game. You put 5,000 in 2019, it sounds like, or roughly 5,000 in, 96,000 in close, 95,000 in closed sales came out the other side. That's good ROI. But you had to. I want to remind everybody that results are going to vary, and you had to have a little bit of that crazy entrepreneur's mindset about this, where you were laying out money. You probably had no other income coming in, right? Because you decided to go full time.
Yeah, well, my wife and I actually own a business in a 100% different sector, and that was in its third year then. So, we have all this investments going out, and we're still trying to get some coming in. And so even if things are scary, you got to stick with it and work what you have. I know some people say they can't afford some of this stuff, but a lot of people spend $500 a month on coffee.
That's a wonder. That's a really good point. I hear that too. We all have people we mentor and we try to help, and they want to know, like, dude, I hear a lot, I just can't do what you do. And I'm like, you're crazy. And I'm like, I don't do anything different. I just model what other people do. And I had the cojones to go spend money before it came back. Right. But it's not that, it's not rocket science.
It's not. It's scary.
Yeah.
But anybody can do what I'm doing. And I bet most of the people tuning in can do it better than I am.
Yeah. I think if we talk to a lot of top producers out there, they'll have similar stories where they maxed out credit cards, or they had a spouse that had to support them for a few months as they launched the business, just like any other business. So, I don't want to sound like lectury or preachy with this, but I know that this advice and what you're saying, Alex, will really help some people listening to this who might be just getting started and they're on the fence about that $250 a month or that $500 a month to invest in their business. Just have the faith. As long as, now, if you're going to invest the money, do the follow-up, right? That's the important
thing. Do the follow-up, which sometimes I struggle at even myself, because I have a million other things, just like everybody else. I got a lot of things going. But another thing I would say, if you really just can't feel like, and by the way, you can do it for as little as $250 a month, I think. So it's really, you can get in pretty cheap. You don't have to spend $500 or whatever. I think it's $250 to $2,000 is the range.
Yeah, you can even chain together property boosts. We did a whole session last Wednesday to everybody. I dropped the link in the chat that walked through all these products. So I know we're jumping around, but you could do property boosts for $60 at a time, borrowing other agents' listings. And as Alex said, we do have the Facebook product at $250 as well.
So another thing that's actually free is if you just watch a bunch of Ryan's videos. That's how I learned most of the stuff I learned. And then you take it from there. Like, I didn't know how to get my pixel and do Facebook retargeting, or even what Zapier was. And just watching these videos, I have two screens going. I'd be following along. If one part took me a second longer, I would pause the video, figure it out. I highly encourage that. It's, there's a lot of people out there too. Like, I know Adam Frank does he's super prevalent in your Facebook page. There's a lot of really smart people out there that will help you.
Yep.
And just watch the videos, and you can learn from there. And then once you learn from there, maybe you've saved up a little bit and you can start getting some of these leads or advertising.
Yeah. So if you don't have the advertising budget, I'd probably point toward the learning portal. There's a social posting course in there. That's kind of my favorite approach, what I tell people to do if they don't have any budget, where you just start posting squeeze links to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter manually. You will get some return from that, and it takes about 2 minutes a day to do. And then once you're ready to scale and you're ready to take the jump, then you go over to the marketplace and you check out the AI advertising and retargeting, Google pay-per-click, and some of the other products Alex has mentioned. So you're converting mostly with automated systems. Do you call every lead? Let's get a little more nitty gritty. You've got concierge, but are you calling people and chasing them? Or are you kind of waiting for the system to surface warm bodies?
I used to call every lead,
Mm-hmm.
and quite honestly, just don't have the time to, especially since coronavirus, there's just been so many more leads that I can't, I can call 22 people a month. That was my February. I had 22 leads. That was perfect. Because on top of that, you have the 22 people or 30 people from last month. You have your other people. Yeah, I have 6 listings right now, which is in itself a lot to handle. So, I know there's a lot of people out there they would be sad if they only had that many, but that's a good amount of business for me. I'm a one-man shop. So it's hard. Sorry, I'm justifying it to myself. But no, I don't call every single one of them anymore.
Yeah. But you let the system surface the warm bodies, the people who do want to talk to you right now.
Yep.
Great. And the video, I'll mention, you're probably going to see a nice lift from that. I know it's going to be a little painful. You're going to spend, probably the next week, right, messing with tech. But there's going to be a lot of leverage in that, I think.
Yeah.
So,
and the behavior automation is helpful too. So, for example, last night, somebody came back to my site after they'd been back for 2 weeks or more. Well, now I know not only have they gone once, they've gone twice. They're clearly looking at houses. So they're on my list of people to call today.
Yeah. So that what Alex is talking about is the system. A lot of people listening have probably seen this. I get the lead revisits after 14 days a lot. It's probably the one I see the most, where somebody, if you see that they were away, they were dormant, and they come back, that's a nice trigger to just call somebody or shoot them an email. So the configuration for that, it's in marketing part, autopilot under behavioral automation. Alex, I kind of turn mine off when it goes to new lead or prospect, when they respond, you move it to active.
I do that.
Yeah. So you can push some knobs here. This way, what that does is it stops the system from sending messages to people you might have just talked to yesterday, basically. We hear a lot like, hey, the system sent this, but makes me look silly. You can kind of control that from this dashboard we're on right now.
Yeah, you can control absolutely everything the system sends. You just might not realize it.
Yeah. So Darcy's asking, what's the best thing other than calling? You've already mentioned the marketing autopilot, our smart campaigns. You mentioned retargeting. Are you doing retargeting consistently on your own?
That was one of those things I tried and realized I am not made for advertising.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's tough. It's a little tough. What you might find is when you do your first video, your thank you videos with Core Video, you'll get a little more practice at doing the videos. You might want to take one of those and turn it into a Facebook retargeting ad.
Yeah, I've in Minnesota, it's obviously you can't do this year round because our weather is a little goofy. Mm-hmm. I try and take with my little kids. People like kids much more than they like some mid-30s guy talking. So I try and take my kids to a park once a week, give it a park review. So once I get those going, now that it's nice out, as soon as the parks are open, those are great because, like I said, people just like children much more than they like me.
Yeah. I'm in a mastermind. I was watching a video yesterday. A guy has this approach to Facebook ads. It's a little different than what I'd heard. But basically what he's doing is he's taking a bunch of little videos like that. There's not really any coherent strategy, but he's running 5 to 10 little videos about his business on Facebook to everybody who's visited his site in the last 28 days. And not really worrying about leads per se. His thesis, and it's something I agree with because I felt this myself, is that you don't even need to ask for the lead. You just need to use Facebook to start building that top of mind status before they're even in your fold. So just a tip for you, if you're going to do those videos, get them on there, right? Get them out there.
Yeah. And another free thing I use with KV Core that probably not everybody's going to be comfortable with doing, but I went ahead and got I wouldn't say preferred, but the lender I work with most often, he is in my KV Core. He signed up. So in my automation, he gets follow-ups. I also love it because I can tag him in a file and be like, hey, Eric, this person wants to talk about some first-time homebuyer programs. And so, and pick your lender wisely because they can see everything in there. But if I tag him in a file, he gets an email and he'll go in there and call him. So I found that's a super helpful tool that's powerful and free.
Yeah, using your lender, and you can use your lender kind of as an ISA in a way.
I totally do.
Yeah. So when you can't call, they're doing the calling for you. Do you use your lender? Does your lender contribute to your advertising budget at all?
He does not. He's willing to. I don't know how to do it in a compliant way.
The quick answer is just ask our billing department. You want to stay RESPA compliant. They can send you an agreement that you both kind of sign for the billing.
I should have asked that question like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So you just say, hey, I want 500, I want 1,000 in Facebook ads, and they'll split it up for you so your credit cards are separate and it's all compliant.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's the cost. That tip right there is worth the cost of admission today. Everybody listening, get your lender paying. They're actually willing to, but you need to, don't just use your lenders as, I've been on the other side and did some consulting for mortgage companies too. You don't want to just use your lender as a kind of a tool, a way to get free money for ads is what I'm trying to say. Pick somebody who you work with, you already trust. Don't take any warm body and work the system with them and coach them too. I'm sure, Alex, you're helping your person understand the system as you go.
Yep, and pick wisely, but make sure you give back. If you expect, just make sure you're always adding value.
To the lender, you mean?
To whatever relationship you're in, if you approach it, my philosophy is every relationship I try and add value. And if I can't add value, I try and find a way I can. So with my lender, even if somebody's not looking at a house and they want to refinance instead, and they just like looking at kitchens because they want to do a new kitchen in their house, I'll still be really nice to them, and you still send them to your lender. Hey, they wanted $50,000 to do a new kitchen and refinance. Here you go.
Yeah, keep them in mind. And definitely with your lenders, I had the second day financing. You can put your lenders, a very simple thing you do is put your lender's application in your signature in KV Core. So every email that goes out with your signature, you could just have a PS at the bottom, get pre-approved for a mortgage now, and put their link there. And that alone, I imagine would make a lot of lenders very happy to be contributing to your advertising budget. Just that you're doing that kind of thing. Alex,
I come on this to talk with you, and now I'm taking notes on stuff I need to do after the call.
That's what we're riffing, giving you homework. So what is there anything? I don't want to put you on the spot. If there isn't anything like this, don't worry. But is there anything outside of the box that you think you're doing that maybe other people aren't doing?
I don't want to pat myself on the back because that's not what this is about. But I think what I'm doing, and I think everybody has the equal ability to do so. You just have to, is like my Mary Kay. She's my lady from December of 18, who I've been following up with. I think my follow-up, and every single person I know, not in an annoying way, but I go to the same gas station every morning. Well, I've been going there for years, and this guy is now set up on a home search, the gas station attendant.
Yeah.
It's silly, but just know the people you interact with, and don't be afraid. Don't be annoying, but don't be afraid to make sure everybody knows what you do.
Uber drivers are great for that. Talk to every Uber driver.
Yeah. Uber drivers make good money.
They do, and they know a lot of people too. That could be a model right there. Just occurring to me, you could probably pay Uber drivers to put like a flyer or an ad on the back of the seat, like get a list of foreclosures now or a text code or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, just occurred to me. Let's see if anybody has any questions here. Robert's asking, how much does a lender typically pay? The way to keep it RESPA compliant is to just have them pay half of the advertising. So most of our products are $250 or $500. So maybe get them, if you're paying $250, ask them to pay $252 is the quick answer.
If you're having them pay $250 a month, that's a lot less than they're going to pay at Zillow.
A lot
So
less than Zillow.
they'll be happy.
Yeah, and a lot of lenders will do it they actually have it earmarked. You know, a lot of the good ones, it's kind of like their agent co-marketing fund. They're just kind of waiting for you to ask. And if they haven't approached you yet, it might just be that they're not aware that you know you're into that sort of thing. Now, I will say on the lender thing, a lot of lenders have been burnt by agents who don't reciprocate, right? Where the agent kind of used them just for ad budget. So you just keep that in mind as you approach lenders and try to just use somebody you really trust. Somebody's asking, does KV Social automatically integrate with our database? Core Social it posts to your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter curated content, and it's designed to drive people back to you, but it doesn't directly generate leads, so to speak, yet. I've actually suggested, I think this would be a good idea, is if that service posted squeeze links, Alex, you know, if it like automatically just did a property search of the day for you. I think
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. The questions here. I think we got a lot of the questions. Alex, I appreciate you coming on. I think it's always good for people just to hear, particularly, you know, cases like yours where you were totally new, you went internet leads only primarily, and you just kind of had a little faith in the beginning, and then you followed up consistently. Now are you a success yet, or do you feel like you're still building this business?
I'm still building this up. I'm definitely more stable than I was, you know, in November of 18. And yeah. I mean, this year is going to be my best year ever. And I'm sure next year will be better than this year, as long as you guys keep adding helpful products and I keep doing it.
What are you doing for past clients? Do you have them on plans inside of KV Core?
I have a smart campaign called Closed, and it has 14 touches, I believe, 14 touches over 365 days. And only 2 of them are scheduled phone calls. And I think, of those 14, 10 or 11 are asking for referrals. Yeah,
that's where you're really going. Yeah, that's where you're really going to, you know, exponentially multiply the ROI you're getting from these leads. So, you know, you're paying a couple bucks a lead off Facebook. You're closing a certain percentage. When those closings start turning into, you know, each one of those could turn into a handful of referrals over the lifetime.
And repeat clients. I have my first repeat client. Her house is pending right now.
Yeah, awesome. And it's a year and a half in, 18 months, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yep. Really cool. Robert's asking, will a lender get a KV Core? Yeah, your lenders get a login, and they'll be able to kind of see all the same contacts. I'm a little fuzzy, actually. Can your lender see all of your contacts, Alex? I'm forgetting.
Or is it the ones assigned to him only?
Yeah, just the ones assigned to them. So you can have, can't remember if a solo agent, if you can have multiple or not. But I would probably recommend just stick with one lender for a little while. Don't go out and get 3 right away anyway. Yeah. Cool. Well, this has been fun for me. If there's no other questions, we can get going. Was there anything else, Alex, that you had today?
No, thanks for having me. It was fun. I actually learned a few things. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Everybody check out the Inside Real Estate Facebook group, insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. We post all these replays there and announcements about new webinars. And then we put the replays at insiderealestate.com/webinars. There's a couple YouTube playlists. We also have our full virtual training summit replays right there. That's hours, probably over 100 hours or more of content right there if you want stuff similar to this. You just can't get enough. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks again, Alex.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
You too.